No one saw them coming. Not the scouts, not the analysts, not the giants of European football who had spent decades building empires with billions of euros. And yet, from a small town above the Arctic Circle, a team in yellow shirts began humiliating clubs that once seemed untouchable. Bodø. Glimt didn't just appear in Europe. They exploded onto the scene. And by the time the football world realized what was happening, the Norwegian underdogs were already tearing through some of the continent's most respected teams. The story begins in a place where football was never supposed to become global news. Bodø is a quiet town in northern Norway, sitting above the Arctic Circle, where winter darkness can last for weeks and freezing winds sweep across the coast. It is not a football capital. It does not have massive stadiums or billionaire owners. The population is barely 50,000 people. Yet this unlikely place became the birthplace of one of the most fascinating football revolutions in modern European football. For decades, Bodø. Glimt lived quietly in Norwegian football. They had occasional successes, but were rarely considered the dominant force in the country. Financial struggles even pushed the club close to collapse in the early 2010s. Many thought the club might disappear completely. Instead, the crisis forced Bodø. Glimt to rebuild their identity. They abandoned the idea of chasing expensive players. They focused on development, intelligence, and a clear football philosophy. When Kjetil Knutsen became head coach, everything started to change. Knutsen did not want Bodø. Glimt to play like a typical underdog. Most smaller teams defend deep against stronger opponents. They sit back, absorb pressure, and hope for a lucky counterattack. Knutsen rejected that idea entirely. He built a team that attacked relentlessly. His tactical structure was built around a highly dynamic 4-3-3 system that emphasized aggressive pressing, positional rotations, and constant movement. Players were trained to recognize pressing triggers the moment the opponent received the ball in a vulnerable position. Bodø. Glimt players would swarm forward like a coordinated pack. The team pressed high, recovered the ball quickly, and attacked immediately. But pressing alone was not enough. Bodø. Glimt also developed one of the most fluid attacking systems in Scandinavia. The wingers didn't just hug the touchline. They constantly moved inside, attacking the half spaces between defenders. The fullbacks pushed forward aggressively to stretch the field, creating width and forcing defenders to make impossible choices. Meanwhile, the midfield rotated constantly. Patrick Berg, the captain and defensive midfielder, became the brain of the team. He controlled the tempo, recovered possession, and launched attacks with intelligent passing. Around him, the other midfielders moved into pockets of space, creating triangles and passing lanes that made it extremely difficult for opponents to defend. This style required enormous physical intensity. Players had to run constantly, press relentlessly, and think quickly, but once it worked, the results were extraordinary. In 2020, Bodø. Glimt achieved something historic. They won the Norwegian League for the first time in their history. Even more impressive, they did it by playing attacking football that shattered scoring records in the league. Goals came from everywhere. The team overwhelmed opponents with speed, movement, and confidence. Many people assumed it was a one-season miracle, but the following year proved it was something much bigger. Bodø. Glimt defended their title in 2021, confirming that a new power had emerged in Norwegian football. The next challenge was Europe. And that's where the real shock began. One of the earliest warnings came during a Europa League qualifying match against AC Milan in 2020. Milan were rebuilding but still possessed far more experience, talent, and financial power than the Norwegian club. Yet Bodø. Glimt didn't travel to Italy to defend. They attacked inside the legendary San Siro Stadium. The Norwegian side played brave, attacking football and pushed Milan to the limit. The Italians eventually won 3-2, but the performance raised eyebrows across Europe. Who were these fearless players from the Arctic? The answer came the following season in dramatic fashion. October 22 1. Roma, managed by Jose Mourinho, arrived in Bodø for a European match. Roma were full of established stars. Mourinho was one of the most successful managers in football history. The Italian club was expected to dominate. Instead, they walked into a storm. From the opening minutes, Bodø, Glimt pressed Roma relentlessly. The Italians struggled to play out from the back because every passing lane was blocked by aggressive yellow shirts. Whenever Roma lost possession, Bodø, Glimt attacked immediately. Quick combinations, fast transitions, clinical finishing. The Norwegian side scored once, then twice, then again. Roma looked stunned. Their defensive structure collapsed under the relentless pressure. By the end of the night, the scoreboard showed something almost unbelievable. Bodø, Glimt 6, Roma 1. It wasn't just a victory. It was a historic humiliation for one of Europe's biggest clubs. And it wasn't a fluke. Later in the tournament, Bodø, Glimt faced Roma again and defeated them once more at home, proving the earlier result was no accident. The football world could no longer ignore them, but Bodø, Glimt kept going. They defeated Celtic in European competition with a stunning performance that shocked Scottish football. The Norwegian team dominated possession, pressed aggressively, and exposed Celtic's defensive weaknesses with intelligent movement. The final score was 3-1 in Scotland. For many observers, that was the moment Bodø, Glimt truly announced themselves to Europe. Their system worked against bigger clubs because it disrupted rhythm. Large European teams are used to controlling matches. They build patiently from the back, dictate tempo, and impose their structure. Bodø, Glimt destroyed that rhythm. Their pressing forced mistakes, their quick passing broke defensive lines, and their fearless mentality meant they never felt inferior. Another key factor in their success was player development. Unlike wealthier European clubs, Bodø, Glimt couldn't rely on expensive signings. Instead, they developed young players and improved undervalued talents. Jens Petter Hodge became one of the early stars of the project. His pace, dribbling, and creativity made him a constant threat in attack. His performances in Europe eventually earned him a move to AC Milan. Ola Solbakken became another breakout player. His intelligent movement and ability to attack space caused serious problems for defenders. Mahl Pellegrino provided lethal finishing and experience in the attacking line, but perhaps the most important player remained Patrick Berg. He embodied the identity of Bodø, Glimt: calm, intelligent, relentless. Berg's understanding of the system allowed the team to maintain structure, even during chaotic pressing situations. And then there was the environment. Aspmyra Stadium might be small compared to Europe's massive arenas, but it became one of the most intimidating places to play. The stadium sits in harsh Arctic conditions. Cold winds, freezing temperatures, long travel distances for visiting teams. Opponents often struggle to adapt, but Bodø, Glimt thrived there. The players were used to the environment. The crowd was close to the pitch. Every tackle, every press, every attack was amplified by thousands of passionate supporters. For visiting teams, it felt like entering a fortress. Another unusual element of Bodø, Glimt's rise, was their focus on psychology. The club worked with a mental performance coach who helped players develop confidence, discipline, and resilience. Training sessions focused not only on tactics and physical conditioning, but also on mindset. Players were taught to believe they could compete with anyone. This belief became one of their greatest weapons. Because when Bodø, Glimt stepped onto the pitch against famous clubs, they didn't see giants. They saw opportunities. And slowly, the impossible started to look possible. The question now is one that once sounded absurd. Could Bodø, Glimt ever win the Champions League? Realistically, the financial gap between them and Europe's richest clubs remains enormous. Teams like Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich operate with budgets hundreds of times larger. But football has always loved impossible stories. Leicester, City shocked England. Porto conquered Europe. Ajax reached the Champions League semi-finals with young players. Bodø. Glimt represents another version of that dream. Club built on tactics, intelligence, unity, and courage. Their rise proves that football is still unpredictable, that great coaching can transform ordinary players into extraordinary teams. And that somewhere, even in the frozen north of Norway, a group of fearless young footballers can shake the foundations of European football, because the giants of Europe have already learned one thing the hard way. If you travel above the Arctic Circle and you face Bodø, Glimt, you might not leave with the victory you expected. The legacy of the Eliteserien is built on resilience, development, and fearless football. From Rosenborg's European nights to Bodø, Glimt's modern revolution, Norway's top league continues to prove that great football ideas can come from anywhere.